So welcome back to another edition of Off the Shelf, where each and every week we are reviewing a bunch of comics right here on YouTube. We try to keep these as spoiler free as possible and kid friendly. So without further ado, we're just going to get going with this. So this review is going to be for Superman Unchained number 2. So first off this week, I want to start off by mentioning how fantastic that this cover is. You can see it behind me here as well. The cover itself is also just a little bit harder and stiffer, which also makes for a better, better feeling comic. It really is just a nice, cool cover, cool feel. Just love it. But is what's inside it is really what matters here. And, the cover is one thing, but does what's inside really match up to or even come close to what the cover is? For this book, we get to see quite a bit of what goes on in Superman's head. Not only that, we actually get to see more on the level of how he operates, which is a very, very, really interesting way of reading a book like this. You see that he's, he can do pretty much anything, but he still has to think, if I give too much or do this thing, there's going to be this kind of an issue, and there's so many things that could go wrong. And it's very interesting the way he thinks things out and thinks things through, even when he is under pressure. Scott Snyder has managed to tell a story on a level that we don't often get the pleasure to see. And you really get to, really get into Superman's character, even Clark Kent and his side in this book as well, which is really, really good. Scott had managed to bring Batman, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, General Lane, the group Ascension, and this mysterious super being that's kind of, the thrusting force during this book. There's just so many things that are going on, and he manages to pack a lot into this book. And it's just a fun ride. By the time I was done reading this book, I was more, because again, there's so many things that are going on here. You're kind of going, well, what's General Lane up to? What's Lex Luthor up to? What is Lois Lane? What is she doing? What is she thinking right now? There's a lot of things that were going on, and you didn't get the full story of any one thing in this book. You kind of got just a taste of this and a taste of that and a taste of this. The only part during this book was the Batman Superman arc during the book that you gotta get a little bit of closure on. Superman comes in, Clark anyways, comes in, meets up with Bruce Wayne in the Batcave. I'm not a huge fan of the whole hide and go seek thing that they play in the Batcave. It was a little bit strange to me, and the way it was worded sounded very creepy. A little bit too comfortable with each other, I think. Other than that, I thought, the scene in the Batcave was fairly necessary to the story and to move things along a little bit more. Overall, the story was a nice setup. There was a ton of action in there. We really get to see how Superman operates. We even get to see how fast he can come up with some sort of incredible solution. The art was great, except, and I have to actually say this, during the Batcave scene, I wasn't quite sure on who is who talking. Batman kind of looked like, or at least Bruce Wayne looked like Clark Kent, and Clark Kent kind of looked like Bruce Wayne. I wasn't quite sure who was who there for a little while, but I mean, really, it's not a big downer for me. I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5. I thought it was a fun book. I think everybody out there who is looking for a really good Superman book. There's not very many out there on the market right now that are good. I mean, there's a lot of Superman books out there, but any ones that are actually half decent, I don't really have a big time reading them. I've always, felt he was overpowered, or people didn't quite get him. So I really like this book. I really like the way Superman's portrayed in here. I don't think you can go wrong, especially if you're looking for a Superman book. This is the one. So go and check it out. And that was for Superman Unchained #2. All right, so I have a bunch of other comics right here. You can go check them all out. I highly recommend maybe this one or this one. No, this one. Top. Always go for the #1 top one, except for if you just watch that one. But then again, you should go watch that one again. Anyways, let's get that out of the way. So I want to thank everybody out there for watching these videos. Subscribe to my channel. You can click some button somewhere to subscribe, so go and do that. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.